Hi guys, it's Mary Jo from MaryjoesCreations. How is everybody doing today? Welcome. Ooh, sorry. Welcome back to my channel. Um, I am back. I'm still not feeling totally like myself, but I am feeling a lot better, and I just think I started work. I have been. Okay. You can tell I haven't done this for a little bit because I'm like tongue tied and I feel off. But welcome back. If you saw my last post, I have not been doing too well. I did have an episode with my fibromyalgia, and I am starting to feel a little bit better, more like myself. And I've still, I mean, I haven't been crocheting like I normally do. I think my body did also need a break. And, it's funny because I guess I was still in that momentum after Vlogmas, and I kind of felt off when I wasn't recording. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just keep recording and not really take a break. And my body was like, no, like, you're crazy, like, and decided that it wanted to completely shut down, and it was not fun. But I was able to finish my blanket. I believe that video is up already. I as of right now, it is not, but I plan on editing that video. I just have to, the only reason I haven't done that yet is because I do need to do one more clip showing you my blanket. It is finished. It is beautiful. And it is very, very long. This blanket is massive. I haven't measured it yet, but it's big. I'd say probably over 6 feet long. But I did do that. I was able to finish it very, very slowly, and most of it was done on my bed because my body was just not having it. After, you're going to see, like, what I filmed up until the point that my body just decided to crash. And it is what it is. I was able to get it together. I'm not sure if I filmed me doing any of the border, because again, I haven't edited yet. It's up, it's ready to go. I'm just waiting to do that one little clip of the reveal, because in order to show that to you, I need to either get a stand on my bed or on a chair. And my legs were just not having it. Like, my legs have been very weak, which is a side effect of the fibro, and I couldn't do that. But I am going to get that clip filmed hopefully today or tomorrow and edit that. And that video will go up before this one, I think. But this is what I have been working on. I started yesterday, and I didn't film any because, again, I wasn't sitting here for very long. I was literally like, I would do a couple and take a break, and do a couple more and take a break. My hands still aren't working very well, so I can't crochet for very long. like literally like maybe 15-20 minutes at a time if I'm lucky. But if you remember, I started during Vlogmas making these, right? Now, as of right this moment, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 done. I don't have a lot of yarn left, and I don't know what I'm going to do if I run out before I get all the squares finished, because this is the last of the yarn, and I honestly don't want to buy any more of this yarn. I don't really care for the texture of it. And again, it's like, it's not very soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just not a texture that I like. It feels very ropey. It's not like, you know, the regular yarn that feels soft and fluffy. So it's good for certain projects, I guess. Like, I do have a hexie cardigan made out of this, and it's okay. But this yarn, it's like, it kind of stumps me on what to make with it because of the way it feels. I don't think I would necessarily want a sweater made out of this. I don't know. Who knows? I might end up buying more. I don't know. What I do know is that as of right now, I don't want to buy any more. That was the purpose of trying to get rid of this. I was going to make another hexie cardigan, but I decided against it because it's just like bits and pieces, and the blue, I believe, was a whole, I think, 2 skeins that I bought. I can't remember at the moment. But the blue, I think it was 2 skeins that I had started making something, and I did not like the way it was coming out. So I ended up scrapping, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I decided that I was going to use these to make a blanket, right? They would like sit on my couch maybe, or on my bed. I don't know yet where it's going to go, to be honest. I have stolen my blanket. The one I made for Vlogmas that was supposed to go on the couch. That hasn't left my room. And I don't plan on it leaving my room. I'm very proud of it. I can't wait to show you guys. But anyway, let's get back to this. I don't know how much yarn I'm going to have to finish all these squares. I kind of compared it to the one that I made. Now, those squares are smaller. These squares are, I believe, 2 rounds bigger. Those were 5 rounds, and these are 7 rounds. So they're a little bit bigger squares, right? So because I love my blanket, and it's very long, but it's not very wide. And I could have easily made like 2 squares, and I didn't want to do that because the whole point of that blanket was to use the squares that were made during Vlogmas, 2 each day for 25 days, which leaves us to 50 squares. So that's what we did. I tried to add a border thick enough to give it, I think I'm close to 50 inches wide, something like that. And I'm okay with that because it's just for me. I cover myself if I lie down, and you know, when I'm not feeling well, I lie down. I already took a nap with it. At night, I like to just put it over my covers just to give me that extra weight and warmth. But I wanted it wider, significantly. so that I could probably like lay it on my bed, right? That's more like a twin size width, maybe. So these, I did the math, or I laid them out according to the other blanket widthwise, and 5 of these is actually the width of the entire blanket, right? So by the time you add, because I'm going to do the same thing, the join as you go, by the time you add it and do the border, it's going to be more or less closer to the width that I want it. And that's what I wanted to do. Now, I know I won't have enough of this to do the border. Lucky enough that like this type of construction, although this is like kind of shiny, that's another reason, like, I don't know if anyone has ever seen this yarn before or used this yarn before. You see how shiny it is? And it's like, I think this is called like a rope construction, I think. I'm still trying to figure out more or less what yarn I'm going to use to attach them all. Now, like I was going to say, the mainstay yarn from Walmart is pretty much constructed the same way, like a rope style construction. I think that's what it's called. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Leave it down on the bottom. I would, have no problems with that. But I believe that the mainstay yarn is the same construction. It feels that way anyway. It's not shiny like this one, but that's okay. If I can get all the squares done, then I have, I have a purple in the mainstay, black, white, and they're the closest ones to the colors that are in these squares that I could use. And, as long as the inside is all the same, I don't care if the outside is different yarn, right? As long as I get it, it to a form of consistency, right? The inside being all one, all the squares being all one type of yarn, and all of the outside being the mainstay, I'm okay with that. Even if I let's say, join as you go with the white or the purple, and then do the border with the black, or join as you go with the black and do the main outline and border with the purple. Whichever way it's going to be, I really don't care. I will figure it out. I don't have a problem with that because I was already thinking of that. But that's the only yarn that I could think of that I would be able to put this with that would match the texture of it. Now, what I'm trying to do at the moment is, like I said, I kind of figured it out, and I think what I want to do is 5 squares across and 7 squares down, which gives me 35 squares. They're 7 rounds each, but once you add the join as you go, you're adding an extra round to each square, right? So that's going to be good. And then with the outline, I'll show you how I did the other blanket, which I absolutely love, because I didn't have enough navy blue, which we already knew. I didn't have enough navy blue to do everything, like to finish it off and do the border the way I wanted it to. So what I decided to do was it was enough to sew them all together and do what I like to call an outline. So I went around it. I think it was almost. I almost got it around twice, I think. There wasn't enough yarn. So what I did was I used one of the yarns from the inside squares, that purple and blue different colored yarn, and I was able to finish the outline and do the border, and then that one finished. Oh, no. I stopped it because I did like the way it looked on the border, right? It was so pretty, but it was too... I wanted to finish it with an outline color, right? So I stopped it, and then I did 2 rounds of single crochet around it in purple. And I really love the way that looks. So what I want to do with this one is the same kind of construction. Join as you go, and now 2 rounds of outline, and then do the border. Now, how I'm going to do that, I don't know. But I do know I need 35 squares. And these yarns are very, like, I wish they were in a different style of yarn, like construction of yarn, because I do love how the colors, they're like long blocks of color. And, you know, like all of these colors, and you'll see the squares once they're together, they were simply from 3 different skeins of yarn, if I'm not mistaken. It was the purple one, which has light purple, dark purple. I have the labels, and I actually have to go through them because they are in the used section, and I have to take them out because I don't want to count them if I haven't used them. So I know exactly which ones they are. I just have to pull them out. I have not counted my labels as of yet. If I had to guess, I'm saying like 200 and something, close to 300. I don't know if maybe like 240, 250, which is a little scary because I really wasn't even trying to use yarn. You know, I was just like learning and creating and stuff. So imagine how much yarn I'm going to use when I purposefully use it. Like when I really start making not only a lot more stuff for myself, but also stuff to put on my website. I have a lot of ideas for cardigans, all kinds, hexie cardigans, and different styles of cardigans. I was actually just looking one up where I want to have like one giant granny square in the back and then work it. I'll get into the styles that I want to create. I'm also working on a sweater that's going to be for my birthday / Valentine's Day, because my birthday is in February. It's coming up very soon, and so is Valentine's Day. So I was trying to get at least all these squares done, even if I don't get them all connected. Because I have 3 projects that I really want to start working on. And also, there are some whips that were carried over that I want to get finished. as soon as possible. And I am going to talk about all of that. I do want to make a video where I like have stuff written down and show you stuff and stuff like that. But as of right now, what I'm trying to do... Oh, hold on. Let's focus, Mary Jo, one step at a time. Please bear with me because I'm still, like I said, I'm still not 100%. So the fibro fog is still very much there. Not as strong, but it's there. And I get very confused. And, you know, like thoughts just drop out of my head, which is, you know, not fun. But anyway. What I'm trying to do now is at least, before I start working on those other projects, like my sweater and a Valentine's Day cardigan that I want to make, and actually 2 different kinds of cardigans, and this green one that I was working on for myself, that was on my finished whips list. It's very in the early stages that I'm designing it, but I want to get it worked on as much as possible. And one of the reasons for that is because I have someone who he wants one like that, but in black and gray. And before I could make it for him, I need to work out the pattern and get it done. So I want to work on it, hopefully starting today. And again, it's like I can't really do too much at once because I'm still trying to recover, but also I can't sit still either because that doesn't help me much either. And, you know, sitting still or lying down for too long does not help my situation either. So I'm just trying to find a balance. And when I was looking at this, I don't know if this yarn will be enough to finish everything the way I was planning. But I wanted to get like as many squares done as possible, right? And I'm kind of going about it the same way I did with the Christmas, the Vlogmas blanket. I am doing like the squares, the centers, because I know how many I need, right? I need 35 squares. And I don't want all the centers to be the same, right? So there are a few main colors in the center. And what I wanted to do was get 35 centers done. And then that way I can also estimate how much yarn I have left. And there is more blue than anything else because that's the color this is all that's left. I don't think this is going to be enough to fully make the rest of the squares, but I don't know. And I want to make them as best as I can using all the colors. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I was trying to do the centers, right? As best as I could and get all 35 centers done. I believe I have 9 full squares, and right now I have 4 more blue, 3 more pink that I did, 5 of this like, it's actually like blue, like a light, kind of like an ice blue, that was in one of the blue skeins. So I got 5 of these. And now I got 5 of the gray. So I think, because like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm trying to see how many more centers I need. So I have 9 squares done. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I need 10 more centers. I'm going to figure out what colors I need for the middles. And I believe like purple is next. And I'm going to do a few of these. And I do have like the yarn that I used in the Vlogmas blanket, that multicolored yarn that's kind of like the same construction as this one, but I honestly don't know if I want to mix those variegated colors with this. But if I do, right, I want at least all the centers started, right? So we already have a bunch of squares that are in solid colors, or you know what I mean. Like those are more like multicolored. They're very short bursts of color, if you remember. So it's different than these, because these are multicolored skeins, but the colors are so long. Like the changing is so long that it looks like it's from different skeins, and it's all from one skein. And again, if you've been here long enough, you know that my process is not, what's the word, linear. It's very messy, because I might have an idea in mind, and halfway through I won't like it, or I'll think of, not that I won't like it. It just might not be exactly what I was envisioning, and it might change. Or simply, like in this case, I might not have enough yarn to do exactly the way I want it, which is normally the case. And because of that, I have to change up what I want it to look like, right? So, and let me tell you something. Every single time that I have tried within the last few weeks to do something like consecutive, like, like the granny squares where, each round is one color. Every time I try to do that, something happens where I can't do that. I was trying to do that with my sweater that I'm making for myself for my birthday / Valentine's Day. And let me tell you, something was off with the math. And I only figured that out once I had already cut off the yarn. And it just was not coming out right. And I realized it. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but I only realized it then. And I had to frog it back. And by the time I redid it and figured it out and got it to where I needed it, it does not line up. It does not end on a full round. And guess what? That's how it's staying. I'm looking for a color to match with it, because it's an off skein that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm not going to buy any more yarn from Hobby Lobby to finish that project. That's just not going to happen. So that yarn, to me, feels very similar to Loops and Threads, Soft Classic. And due to a very generous friend of mine who took me yarn shopping, I do have yarn that I can pair with it now. That was one of the reasons why I hadn't touched it. And I can finish it now. So one second. Okay, so you know, like, every time I try to be formal and do it like, you know, regular, it's like, no. You need to do it your way because, no. I guess it's the universe telling me just to, you know, be myself. So, and I completely went off track, and I don't know where I was going with that point, but, you know, I know that this being, like, a yarn stash, what is that? A stash busting project, because I just want to get this yarn out of my house. Like the cakes, I want to get them used. Turn it into something that I can use so I'm not staring at it and trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to make with it because it doesn't fucking feel the way that I want it to feel, and I don't want to make any wearables with it. It's not good for hats. I don't like it for hats. I definitely don't like it for scarves. Like I said, a cardigan, it's okay. I don't mind it. I do use mine a lot. It's purples and pinks. So I do use mine a lot. Or I did when I made it. Right now is not the time for it, but it's more of a like springy cardigan, springy summer cardigan. So I figured, let me see, hold on. I did bring this in here, so I want to show you. Like, these are the skeins, and I do have a little bit more of this, but these are like all half skeins because I used this one for the border of my blanket. And this one was used in some of the squares. And so was this one. So I do have these. And all of these three do go with the squares that I have. So I do have 9 solid squares. Right? Clearly, it's 5 by 7, so it's 35 squares. So there's no even break, right? But if I have like more or less the solid ones done, I can use this variegated, which comes up very different. And I can use some of this variegated into making some of the new squares. And I hope you follow that. Sometimes I'm actually surprised how some of you can follow. Because, you know, my brain does not work right. I also believe that this is the last of this skein, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look, but if I'm right, this is the last bit of this colorway that I have. And this is called Soft Classic, but it's the multicolor, right? This one's Orchard Mist Multi. And this one is Granite Multi. And this one is Lotus Blossom Multi. And I believe I also have like a soft baby one. I did use some of this yarn to make a poncho. But anyway, what I was thinking was, if I don't have enough of this to finish all the squares, I can mix these into some of them. And then you'll have some solid, some with this, and break them up a little bit. And, you know, that's what my Vlogmas blanket is made out of. All different kinds of yarn. Variegated, multicolor, solid colors. It's just a Mod Podge of everything mixed together. And it's gorgeous. I love it. So I was thinking, if I can get all the centers done, right, of these squares, and have all the centers made and start building some of them up, I'll have a better gauge on how much yarn I have left, and then I can figure out where to put that multicolored yarn. And that is what I'm working on right now. And then again, I'm also going to be, going back and forth. I think it's going to be 3 projects. It's going to be this one. It's going to be the sweater for my birthday and Valentine's Day. And it's going to be that green cardigan that I'm designing myself. And I'm just trying to do the center, so I'm trying to, like, not pull too much. So I'm going to try and kind of like multitask. And then, if I do get tired of one project, I can move on to the next project. Right now, I'm just working very slowly. Like I said, I do want to make quite a few things for Valentine's Day that I wanted to put up on my website. It's just because of what happened this weekend, everything got a little derailed. And it is what it is, right? It's life. Especially when, I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. There's no control over it, and sometimes I can't. But I just wanted to share what I'm working on with you right now. And is that it? Yeah. And what I think that my future projects are going to be for the foreseeable future. Yeah, see, my hands don't want to work. I've been here for 38 minutes, and I've been crocheting not exactly the entire time, but enough of it, and my body's already telling me I need to take a break. But I do want to finish as many of these squares as possible. As many of these, because, I found it really much easier during Vlogmas when I had all the squares done. Not only because, the centers, when I had all the centers done. Because if you've ever made granny squares, or honestly, it's when you're starting a project, whether it's granny squares, whether it's, panels, the beginning of it is always the hardest because it's the most tedious, right? Doing the on these, doing the magic ring, getting all the clusters done in the center. This is the hardest part. So when that's done, the rest of it is, like easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it goes faster. Once these are done, it's really fast to tie on another color and keep it going until you get to the round you need to get to. And it, to me, saves time. Because if I'm taking 2 hours out of my day, one day, to do all the centers, then the rest of it is going to be easy because the centers are the most time, like they're the in my opinion, hardest part of the whole thing. But that's just my opinion. And I, look, that fast I cannot remember how many squares I have. So I already did 3 more. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I need 2 more for 30, and then I need 5 more, right? So that's what, 7 more to go. I do have, I believe, oh, actually, should be enough purple. I have to double check. I'm actually going to take a break anyway, because if I only have 7 left, I did all of these today. So today, in the little time, and I've been sitting here maybe 15, 20 minutes at a time. And within like 30 minutes, I can get 4 or 5 done, if not more. But, these were, oh no, this one, I think these were done yesterday. But all these right here were done today. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I've finished an entire square. So, and I think I made 1 or 2 of these. But let's say 15 centers. That's not bad. It is 4:15. So it wasn't, and I've been, like I said, working on and off all day. So I get 3 or 4 done at a time and then take a break. I'm trying not to burn myself out and trying to also rest a little bit. And so I'm going to be working on this. Today, I want to take it to just, at least for the most part, try to finish this up. There's only 7 more left, centers, so I'm sure that I will get that done before 6, 7 o'clock. And then I'm not going to touch this project again today. And then I'm going to work on, most likely, my green sweater. Because I did do some progress, a lot of progress, on my Valentine's Day sweater yesterday. And, I took that apart like 3, 4 times before I finally got it. And I put a hold on it because I wanted to go through all the yarn that my friend bought me. It was a lot of yarn. I love her to death. It was a lot of yarn that, I wanted to color coordinate. And you'll see when I take you back in there. It's a mess right now. I don't think I'm going to be working in there until I take down my Christmas decorations and get my house back to the way that it was. because I had to put some stuff in my workroom in order to have my living room, you know, with the tree and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll get that done by the end of the week or the weekend. And next week we will be back in there. But before I pulled out yarn to finish my sweater, I wanted to go through and catalog everything that I had. Not catalog, but like organize it by color and see exactly what I had before I started pulling out yarn. And I did pull out 2 colors. I'm not sure yet if those are the colors I want to use, or if I want to add one more. I have to take my starting yoke, the yoke that I started, into the room and just make sure that those are the colors that I want to use. So what I might be working on will be my green cardigan that I want to get deeper in on the design. And it's going to be like one piece, more or less, and very little sewing. The only thing I plan on, you know, sewing will probably be the ends. I hope on, you know, connecting it either with the join as you go, or slip stitch, or single crochets. I don't know yet, but it will be done. You know, I will be crocheting it together somehow. And then I think the only thing I want to be sewing in are ends. And it's pretty much going to be like one panel that's just going to be divided. And you'll see what I'm talking about because I will be working on it, just not yet. I want to get at least one side and the center started before I decide to, you know, because I don't want to be on here and get frustrated and be ripping shit out and getting myself aggravated. That's just not what I want for camera. And again, I can't sit here for very long either, so like right now, working on that for too long is not feasible. But I'm going to go take a break, and in a little bit, I will come back here and we can finish doing the 7 square centers. Or maybe I'll show them to you. I don't know. This video is already 47 minutes long. Because I talk a lot. And it is what it is. I hope you guys like my videos. And I appreciate you. I keep wanting to pick up that hook. I really need to take a break. If you can't tell, the pain is starting to set in. I need to take a break. But, like I said, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I have get it together, Mary Jo. I have 7 centers to go. And this is the yarn that we're working with, which I don't think will be enough to finish all 7 squares. I mean, all 35 squares. Because technically, only 9 are fully finished. How many I'm going to get done, I have no idea. But we are going to figure it out. And we most likely will have to incorporate those. So it'll be kind of cool because you'll have some squares that are just solid colors. And then you'll have some that are mixed with the multicolors. Kind of like the way I did the blanket for Vlogmas. Just with fancier looking yarn. And bigger squares. But I'm going to take a break. And for you, I'll be back in just a sec. Hey guys. Okay. Sorry about that. I had like a coughing fit. But anyway. Okay. I'm a big fat liar. Because, you know, like I said, I wasn't going to work on this after like 4 or 5 o'clock. 3, 4, 5, 6. But, you know, there was a little drama over here. And unfortunately, you know, I wasn't able to do it earlier. So I figured that I could do it right now, at least work on it a little bit. And I just wanted to come on here and, you know, I changed things up again. I do believe that the yarn that I have left is not going to go all the way, right? I think I can stretch it out to do all the squares. I think I do have enough for that. But I kind of want to do like half and half, right? So, remember I told you and I showed you the yarn, the multicolored yarn that I have. I do have one more skein that I want to grab because I think it will blend with these colors. And again, I'm just trying to get rid of all this yarn because I don't really like to use it. But I don't like to waste yarn either. I just like to, you know, I'll find a creative use for it. I don't like to throw yarn away. I don't like to, you know, like, I don't know anyone who uses it, so, you know, I'm not gonna try and sell off a couple of half skeins of yarn. I just, it's not that it's uncomfortable for me to work with, like the Red Heart Super Saver, which I hate. I'm sorry. I know that most of you like it. And I just do not like working with it. It burns my hands when I start using it. And I just don't like it. But this one, it's not that it's bad to work with, because it's not. I have no problem working with it. I just don't like the way it feels when it's worked up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not soft and fluffy. And again, like for the cardigans, it's okay. I was thinking of making a tank top with it, but I decided not to. It's just, you know, we'll just make a blanket and get it over with. Because another thing, like, if I tried to make a cardigan, another cardigan, because I don't want cardigans because I have one, but I didn't have enough. I wasn't going to make a different project because I did not have enough. And it was just these balls of, you know, that were left over from projects. And so instead of making another cardigan, I decided to use them to make a blanket, as I told you. And, you know, I did find creative ways of using the other ones where I blended them with regular yarn. But anyway, the little bit that I have left, I decided that I would turn it into a blanket. And at first I thought that the yarn that I had was going to be enough to make at least all the squares. But now, as I'm working them up, I don't think so. And I believe I said all of this already, but I'm sorry. if I did. So I know I spoke earlier and I said that I was thinking of using those to mix in with these colors to make it last longer. And I thought about it because if you remember, I made all of these little centers, right? Well, what I realized is that I kind of wanted it to blend more together. If I was going to add those other colors, then they needed to be added from the beginning, right? Like in the centers of some squares. So what I thought of doing is this. I'm going to do as many as I think I can. Hopefully the goal is to have 17 done just like this. Solid colors, no multicolors. Just solid colors, right? And since it's going to be 35 squares, I could do, 17 solid color ones and then 18 mixed with the variegated, multicolor, whatever we're calling them. Because I don't want to make squares with just the multicolors. That's way too busy for my taste, and I don't want to do that. I do like mixing the multicolors with the solid colors. So I thought that what I would do is mix them in right from the start. So what I did was, so that these little pieces wouldn't go to waste, or, not waste, but I decided to start the centers and add that to it right away. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So, I mean, it sucked because I had already done them, and I did do quite a few, but again, they're just the beginning, so while it's tedious and sometimes annoying, because of the magic circle, it really doesn't take that long. It's just the most tedious part of it, right? So I kept whatever amount made it to 17. I think this is round 7, so give me just 1 second to confirm before I snip the yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's what that... Oh, I like that. It's just a shame that I didn't have enough of all of these colors to make the whole blanket this way, because I know I don't. I know I don't, because I have what right now, I believe that's like 11 squares, and I need 35, and that's all I have left. There's no way in hell that this is going to make 35 full squares. I'm sure of it. Which kind of stinks, but I do also have this variegated yarn that I'm not sure what to do with because it's very busy. Now, this construction does feel a little bit different than this one, but it's still a rope construction. So, again, that's what I believe it's called. So, what I plan on doing is mixing this one in some of the squares. And all of these colors really do kind of go together. So we have this one here, which I believe I showed you already. So I apologize if I did. But we have this one right here. And then we have this one right here. And funnily enough, they all really do go with the colors that I'm working with. So it's not like it's going to look too off. You know what I mean? And if I alternate with multicolors and solid colors, it'll make it stretch. I do have one more, which I'm going to go get. So give me just a moment. Okay, so I also have this one. I don't know if you can see. And this one is called Bluebird Multi. Now, another reason, or actually the main reason, that I don't really like this yarn is because the bursts of color are way too short, right? So it looks very busy. And although, like, I know a lot of people like it, and that's what my first my first sweater, that pink sweater that I wear, it's made out of this variegated yarn. It's just a different color. And again, it's not, this one here does feel different than this one. This one does feel more, like shiny and just not as soft. This one is kind of soft. It's just, it doesn't have the same feel to it that this one does, but it's just so busy. To me, they all feel just so, like, too much in your face to do a project just like this that I personally don't like the way it looks. So that's why I break it up. And I did make I'm going to show that. I believe I posted it somewhere. If I didn't, I'll put it up soon. But I'm not sure now if it was this one. Let me see. Hold on. Maybe I could grab it. Okay, now I did use most of it because I had a ton of this. So what I did was I made a poncho and I broke it up. And I believe I do have a short with this on it. So I broke it up, and I'm okay with this, you know, like breaking it up like this. And I do like the way it looks. I love this. I think it's so beautiful. And it's like, to me, it does remind me of winter, especially when I put this like border. I don't know if there's a specific name for this. I don't know if it's called the fan board. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I just made, I don't even know how many. I don't know if it's 8 or 9, but I just did like the, can you see it? And I just did that all the way around. I am trying to, I'm going to make this one more time and work out any kinks that are in my pattern and try and, you know, iron out any issues, double check the math and all of that. And I might be putting this out for either a pattern or, I'm not great at tutorials, although my friend keeps calling me a teacher, and I'm really not a teacher, but I'll figure it out. But I do want to work on this pattern. And like these, it doesn't look as bad when you break it up like that. So maybe like I would probably order this one again, but like the multis, because now I know to like break them up with a specific color. But I just want to use up what's left of these skeins. And then if further on, because I don't have enough. So right now, I don't want to buy a lot more of this to make a project way later on, you know what I'm saying? And like this, I think might be nice to mix with, you know, a different yarn and maybe make something like this with a poncho. But right now, what I really want to do is make this blanket. And in order to use up the rest of the yarn that I want to use up, because I don't want it anymore, which is this shiny, fancy looking yarn, I have to have a yarn that's compatible in construction so that I could finish the blanket, because I want it all to be the same kind of construction. You know, like the Vlogmas blanket was all over the place because it was just random scrap. And this time I want this one to be all basically the same kind of construction. Now this one is a little bit thinner, I've noticed as I'm crocheting it, than the fancy yarn. This one here is actually a little bit thicker than this one. But I think that varies from skein to skein because sometimes the yarn feels thicker and sometimes it feels thinner. I don't know why. But anyway, these are the multicolors that I have to work with. This is the last of this. This is the last skein that I have of this one. And this is the last that I have of this one. I believe this one I do have 2 more. And if I don't need them, then what I'm going to do is use the rest of that to maybe make a different project. I was thinking of making another one like my scrappy shrug that I have, but make it like a full-length sweater. You know, and it's going to be off the shoulder as always. That one is worked in panels. It was worked in a front panel, a back panel, and then I do the sleeves directly onto the sweater. I don't do panels for sleeves. So I would probably have enough to incorporate this into like a scrappy style sweater. And I believe in this one I have 1 more. I think. At least 1 more of this one. I think it's 1 of this one and 2 of this one. But it could be the other way around. Who knows? I think that this is all I will need for the blanket. And again, like this yarn, now that I'm more, you know, I understand more, and I know how, you know, like to break it up and to space it out so it's not, you know, so busy. I might at some point order some more of this, but I don't like mixing it with regular soft classic because the construction is different. So the soft classic is also much thicker, and I don't like the way it feels. When I made the poncho, that was, I believe, hold on a second. This is Mainstay. And the Mainstay is the same construction. It's like, to me, it's like that ropey construction. So, and I found that out just not too long ago, a few months ago. And so, like, you know, it's okay that now I know that I can mix it. And I don't know. I don't want to say I'm never going to use it again. because I might. But this one here, I don't know if I'm going to use this again. Now, I have not washed my cardigan yet. So, if I wash my cardigan and it does come out significantly softer, then maybe I might use it again. Because the colors are very pretty. It's just that I don't really like this type of construction for yarn, personally. But who knows? You know, sometimes you say one thing and then, you know, you change your mind because, you know, we are allowed to change our mind. so all this to say that I am definitely going to be mixing those colors into this blanket. And I think it'll make it like fun. And, you know, I think it's going to blend really well. And, you know, like I was talking about the mainstay yarn, it is the same construction. So I can use the mainstay yarn to do the outline and the border. And I think that'll work, but I think it's going to use up almost all the yarn, if not all the yarn. And, you know, if anything gets left over, like little scraps, then it'll go into next year's Vlogmas blanket, because we are going to start collecting yarn for that too. And try not to use, unless the scrap yarn gets really out of control, we are definitely going to leave it and see how much we get. And if I want to do like a scrappy sweater or something, or even scrappy granny squares and turn it into like a cardigan or something, we can always do that, as long as I make sure that we have enough. Now, next year, depending on how this one turns out, and then, I don't know if you remember, I also have those squares of that other, those giant squares that I'm making with the Soft Classic, really soft, fluffy yarn, which I can't wait to start on that one. And I do have more yarn, because remember, I was afraid that those scraps weren't going to be enough. Well, if those scraps aren't enough, I'm not worried, because I have more yarn. So, what was I saying? I don't know. Just that easy. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So, I definitely want to make another blanket next year for this year for Vlogmas, right? Yeah, this yarn is starting to get low, and I don't know if it's going to be enough to do the rest of these squares and still have enough to mix in with these. But one story at a time. I might, instead of, because it wasn't as wide as I wanted it, right? So what I might do, instead of making them 5 rounds, maybe make them 6. But then the problem with that is that it would be even longer, and it's a long blanket. And if I'm using 50 squares, now when I know these, I don't believe, I mean, I have to put them together, but I believe that like these, well, they have to be like, I mean, the only way that I could think of it is that see how 24 squares in the bigger ones look. So like do like those giant squares that I'm making in there. But see, I like the way it looks in those. And I love the way the blanket come out. It's just, I did wish it was a little bit wider. But that's next year's, that's December's problem, right? Right now we're talking about this. So, right now, I'm working on this one here. And that's coming out pretty. And I'm starting to run very low on yarn. So, before I finish that, I believe 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Okay, here are all the squares. Now, some of them you might remember because I had started them during Vlogmas. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which means we need 6 more of just the solid colors. And that would be 17 squares. And then, sorry, my ankle was itching me. So that's 11, which means we need 6 more. So I have this one that I'm working on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and oh, sorry. There you go. I don't know which one to use. Or maybe I can use this one. And I got 2 gray. I think I got a lot of blue and purple. I don't know. I'll double check. But I need one of the... You know what? We'll just do that one. Because that's 2. Okay. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these that I had already started, right? I had 10, but this is what I did. I grabbed some of the yarn and I took one of these squares, these starters, and I just you know, started it with the multicolor and then took it apart and crocheted it on as I went, right? So here is this lovely little square, and then I did the same thing with this one, right? And so, like, I went until there was no more room. I mean, until the yarn ran out. And now I'm just going to alternate with multi and solid colors. And hopefully I will have enough. I don't know. We're going to see. But this is where I'm going to end this video. And we are going to see how lucky I am if this works. Now, today I worked on this. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to be working on these squares. I might put this project aside tomorrow and either work on my sweater for my birthday or my green cardigan that I'm working on. I'm not sure yet. So this video obviously is going to take a few parts, but we will break it up as I work on it. And hopefully it'll be done, I don't know, by next week. Hopefully all 3 will be done by next week. If you know me, you know that I don't like projects taking, they give me anxiety if it takes more than, unless I have a good reason for not working on it because I don't have enough yarn. I run out of yarn and I have to get more. That is understandable. That I don't mind putting it aside. Or if I have, something that I have to make for somebody else. Like a custom order or like a commission, or if somebody asks me to make something, a family member, not family member, because that's, if a friend asks me to make something, then I want to prioritize that. But other than that, I don't like my projects. I mean, I always have at least 4 or 5 whips going, but it's like one in, one out. I normally don't take more than, a week or so to finish a project. So we're going to see, again, unless there's like some reason that I actually can't finish it. But we'll see what happens. And today is Wednesday, I believe the 7th. So, I think that by next week is more than enough time to finish this, design my sweater, and hopefully have a good chunk of work on the cardigan. But we'll see. And we might have all 3, series going on at the same time. And we can alternate from the blanket to the cardigan to the sweater. Let me know if you like that. If you want the next video to well, not the next video. Well, maybe, because I think that my blanket video for the Vlogmas blanket should be out already. So, one second. For some reason, my foot is really itchy. But let me know if you want, I need to take a break. Let me know if you want the next vlog after this one to be a continuation of the blanket, or would you like me to break it up and like do this is part one of the blanket, right? And then the next video can be me working on either the sweater or the cardigan, either or. And as I work through projects, because once I'm done with those, once I'm done with these three, then, you know, I do want to start making a sweater. That's why I want to finish by next week, because I want to start the sweater to hopefully put up on my website, maybe a hexie, and if it comes out really good, a sweater like mine that I'm making for my birthday / Valentine's Day. So yeah, let me know if you would like to have a video, you know, like breaking it up where, you know, part one for the blanket, and now the next video that I put out is going to be part one of, let's say, the sweater, and then the next one will be part one of the cardigan, and then I can go back to doing the blanket. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you have any other ideas, let me know. I am going to do a video of all the stuff that I've been working on soon, and the labels, and going over what whips were left from last year. There's a few videos that I have planned. Unfortunately, because I got, you know, sick and I was in a lot of pain, everything got pushed. And that's the story of my life. So, it's just a mess. And hopefully this year it'll start getting better very soon. And it will be a great year. And that's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm striving for. So, but you know, that's something I can't control. So you're going to have to give me a moment to catch up and organize things. Then I did have that giant yarn haul that my friend so graciously bought me. And it was nice. She doesn't want me to mention her, so I'm not going to say her name. But she was actually very sweet, because when I told her that, you know, she didn't have to buy all of that yarn, she was like, well, I just want you to create. And she's lovely. And I appreciate her very much. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to create as much as I possibly can. And some of the stuff, obviously, you know, that I create for myself, but I am going to be putting stuff up, and I gotta, you know, that's another thing on my list, getting trying to figure out my website a little bit better, and getting not only more stuff up, but maybe doing a custom for, you know, the hexie cardigans, and some of my new designs that I am definitely going to be making throughout the year. And I hope y'all stick around. I hope you enjoyed me talking a lot, because it's fun to talk to you guys. I don't have that many people to talk to, so it's nice to come on here and share, you know. And most the people in my life don't really, they get kind of annoyed when I talk about crochet. So it's just nice to have people to talk to. And, you know, let me know if you like my videos. And I hope y'all have a wonderful night. And I will catch you on the next one. Oh, I always forget. If you really like this video, please hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and it helps me out a lot. please hit that like button too, because that helps a lot. And I would love any feedback that you have. So you can always leave a comment down in the comment section. And I will try to get myself together as much as humanly possible. Now, again, I am a hot mess, and we all know this. But, you know, I'm going to try and be a better organized hot mess. And we will figure it out together. And once I start getting settled, we will get there very soon. So, again, don't forget to hit that like button. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.